storm has passed. But for many of us, that's actually when the stress begins. How do you protect your home, your pocket, and your peace of mind? Today, I'll be joined by Kenasha Kalphat, the Claims Supervisor of Guardian General, to take us through all the steps to stay safe and protect ourselves financially after a hurricane. So Kenasha, before we get into the meat of the matter, right? I want to know, people have this need to rush outside to check on the damage that's been done from a hurricane. Is that safe? Because from what I'm hearing, there's some things we probably don't think about. So what about that?
Well, Scotty, we understand the urge, but honestly, it's not safe to go outside right after the storm has occurred. You can walk outside into live wires that can electrocute you, unstable buildings that can tumble on you, or even sharp debris that can cut you. So remember, safety first. Your building can be replaced, but your life can't.
So, your work time, claims.
Right.
How soon after the storm or hurricane do I need to report the damage to my insurance company?
Well, Scotty, with most insurance policy, as with Guardian Generals, all losses are to be reported within 30 days from the time the incident occurred. That means after the storm has passed, we expect that you notify us of the loss along with any estimated damage within that time frame.
Okay, I can work with that. 30 days, so essentially a month.
Yeah, essentially.
No, this one is on our minds. How long does it take for an adjuster to call me back after I filed my claim?
So you will be contacted by the loss adjuster within 2 days to make arrangement to visit your property. However, visiting your property is dependent on safe access to your community. Right, so that's why it's important to give your insurance company all the possible contact information that you have.
You know, that actually makes a lot of sense. I didn't think about that, because what if I don't have access to my phone? I could have lost it. That could have been something that was damaged. So it makes sense if I give you my mother, father, brother, sister, auntie, uncle, second cousin, everybody.
Exactly. Right. Additionally, protect your property from further harm and save receipts if you've done any temporary fixes.
So that's where me and the insurance company might have a bit of a problem. What if I don't have the receipts for the things that were damaged?
Well, Scotty, we're in the same boat when it comes to that. I can't keep receipts to save my life, right? So though receipts are helpful, it doesn't mean that if you don't have them, we won't compensate you for your damage. If you can provide photos of the item, boxes that the items came in, email showing purchase of the item, that can also be proof of ownership and value of the item. Also, when the adjuster visits, they would want to see the damaged item. Be honest with him, give him as much information as possible. This will help him to estimate the worth of the item.
Okay, so I got my call within the 2 days, and they're telling me it's gonna take about a week to reach my community based off of the power lines down. So, but I have a broken window and I have to fix that because rain. Meaning, if I start to fix anything on my property, will that affect my claim?
Well, Scotty, we understand that people want to secure their homes and businesses from further damage. If you decide to, board up your broken window or cover your leaking roof, that's fine. Temporary fixes are fine. However, if you decide to do temporary fixes, ensure that you take photos of every angle of the damage. So if you decide to go ahead with any temporary fixes, ensure that you take photos of the damage from every angle. Also, keep the receipts of any material or labor charges that you may have incurred to do these temporary fixes. What you should avoid, however, is doing major replacement of items or full repairs before the adjuster sees the damage.
A weird silver lining here. I'm realizing more and more that a hurricane sometimes shows families where their coverage falls short.
Right.
How would they then better prepare for the next storm?
Well, right before the hurricane season is the best time to review your insurance coverage. Many people realize too late that they're underinsured or that certain things like fences, equipment, jewelry, electronic items aren't fully covered, right? So speak to your insurance representative, understand what is included in your policy, what is excluded from your policy, and if your sum insured is adequate.
Did you say my jewelry can be insured?
Yes, Scotty, your jewelry can be insured. Also, ensure that you keep your documents safe, have a basic emergency plan ready, and also do an annual home inventory to prepare for the storm.
All right, Kenasha, live with me, all right?
Right.
How can I make sure I'm better prepared for the next hurricane?
Well, Scotty, these are the type of people I like, the proactive people, the one that asks the right question and want to stay ahead of the game, right? So I'm going to reiterate, before the hurricane season starts, review your insurance policy. Understand what is covered and what is not covered.
And I can do that by calling you guys, and you guys work with me on it. Okay.
We'll go through with you and tell you what's covered and what's not covered, so you can have an understanding what to do next.
Okay.
Right? Ensure that your sum insured is adequate at today's market value.
Sorry. Sum insured means what? For the people in the back, not me, but for them.
Sum insured is the value of the item at the time it was insured.
Okay.
Right? So ensure that your sum insured is adequate at today's market price, not at 10 year ago market price that you had insured for. Right? So it might be inadequate today.
Okay.
Right? So check with an insurance representative to confirm if your sum insured is adequate for your building and your contents currently at today's price.
Okay.
Also, take photos and video inventory of inside and outside your premises. That is before the hurricane hits. We want to see, your the building before it's damaged, so we can understand, the true...
What it used to look like,
right,
just in case anything happens.
Right.
All right.
Also, take a video and photo inventory of your appliances, your furniture, your contents, whatever is within your home, so we can see those items before they're actually damaged, if they are after the hurricane has passed.
So basically, stop taking pictures of my food, my plants, my picnic them.
Right.
And focus more on, when preparing for the hurricane, all of my actual assets.
Yes, the valuable
things that I have around
in
my
your
house.
house, right,
Okay.
and your own home property.
Okay.
Right. Take photos and videos of those. Also, keep important documents like your policy, IDs, receipts in a waterproof bag. Or receipts can fade. So take a photo of them, and store them digitally. Send them to your email address so they can be permanently stored there.
So like the same regular phone that I have in my pocket, just
Right.
use that to make sure I'm taking pictures of all of my receipts and stuff, just in case a hurricane comes up.
Right. So that they can be saved digitally. You send them to your email address and they are saved permanently there.
Okay.
Right? So you'll always have access to those.
That makes so much sense. I genuinely never thought of simply using my phone, or you know what I'm still thinking about? For some reason I'm still thinking about a live wire and a puddle and not running outside right after the hurricane finishes. It's just stuck up here for some reason. A hurricane doesn't end when the winds die down. Protecting your family and your future means staying alert, checking carefully, and making the right moves with your insurance. Be safe, be prepared.